Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. I don't know why I always touch my hair when I'm going in for the start of the video. How has everyone's day been? I'm here going to be cooking some chicken fried rice, which is exciting. I might wait until a few people jump on this live, and once people have jumped on, we can begin. Hello guys. Oh my god, don't do that on a live video. I'm dead. That was like an ultimate fail. Oh my god. Okay, starting from the start again. I'm here today making chicken fried rice. Super easy dish. Always really fast, and if you are wanting to use it's like beef mince, that's totally fine, or turkey mince as well. I just have chicken mince today because I had some spare. So let's get into it. Basically what we're going to do for this chicken fried rice is weigh some rice and get it on the stove. I have a pot of water already on the stove ready to go, and I'm going to weigh 50 grams of rice into a bowl, the one that I just smashed, and then we're going to put it in the water. So, 50 grams, up to you, depending however much rice you want to eat, you can just add that amount, but I'm going 50 grams today. To 50 grams of rice, you would add 150 grams of water to 200 grams, always add double the amount, or if it's that amount of rice, add 2 fingers worth of rice, if that makes sense. So straight into the pot, put the pot on a high heat and let the water boil. While the water is coming to the boil and the rice is cooking, we're going to get into the rest of it. So just add your rice. So the rice is cooking. What we're going to do now is get the veg ready. So you can use whatever veg you want to, but I like capsicum for mine. Also, what else do I have here? I have some shallots and I have sugar snap peas today, or you could use green beans, broccoli, just any type of greens that you'd like to bulk it out, but these are really young. So what you're going to do is take off all the edges of the capsicum. If you've watched my previous videos, I've showed you some knife skills before, but I can go over them again. Just when you're holding a knife, making sure you're holding it with a pinch grip like this and a loosely gripped hand. But be sure to watch my other videos as I go into sort of more knife skills in those. Now I've cut off the cheeks of the capsicum. The next thing we're going to do is just cut the capsicum into strips. This is called julienne. It's a type of cut. Once they're all cut into strips, just lay them in a pile together. Sweet. So, try the capsicum, make sure it's good. And then what we're going to do is, depending on your knife skills, how good they are, just grab a bunch of capsicum. Like I just showed you before, pinch grip with the knife. This is where knife skills sort of come into play. One finger here, one finger there. Wrap your hand around the back of the knife with a loose grip. Using the tip of the knife, you're going to put this in the board, and this is not going to leave the board, you're going to use it as a guide. Now, with your fingers, make sure you tuck them under using your knuckles as the guide. It's okay if the knife touches your knuckles as long as it's not cutting your fingers or your knuckles. With your knife hand, you're going to do a rowing like motion. So, you're going to keep the knife on the board, and you're just going to move your elbow and your wrist, bringing it up and back like you're rowing. With these fingers, you're going to drag it back along the capsicum. This is going to allow you to dice it. Now, only pull your fingers back as far as you want to do the cut. So if you want to do 1 centimeter, pull the 1 centimeter back and fill that knife down the front of your fingers, in front of your knuckles. Now, I'm going to do this fast, but you're just going to pull it back as you go. You should be able to see from here. And just slowly bring it back like this. This is just going to, This is going to allow 1 centimeter cubes. If you want to do them bigger, just for future chopping things, just pull your fingers back a bit. So you're just going to dice up all that capsicum and push it to the side. Now, the next job. Depending on what beans you've used, what green veg, just cut it accordingly. I've done sugar snap just because I like the sweetness of them. I also have them left over. And all you're going to do with these is pull the top and string the string down the bottom. I don't know what it's called. You're just going to quickly peel all of those like that. Like I mentioned before, whatever veg you have handy is perfect. Like this is all about using leftovers. Like this was all the food that I had left in my fridge at work today, and I was like, oh, how can I use this up and not waste it? And I was like, I thought I would make a chicken fried rice. We're also going to make our own sauce as well, which is so much better than buying it from the shop. It's the one that I make for all my clients, and it is delicious. So just be mindful that your rice is over there simmering. Once we have all of the tops of these taken off, depending on how you like it, you can either dice them up or cut them in half. All I'm going to do is cut these in half. I want them to be a bit chunky. I don't want them to cook really fast. I want to keep the crispness of the sugar snap. With the capsicum, however, I've cut it smaller because I want it to saute, and there is a lot more of it, so it is going to take longer to cook. When you're cooking, just think about the texture you want it to turn out like. If I wanted these to just be quickly tossed in, keep them nice and fresh, I wouldn't even bother to cut them. However, I'm just going to go into threes because I want them to cook a little bit. Grab a couple at once and just slice them up. Now, the recipe is in the description, so you guys can just easily jump on and copy that. But it's always good to watch the whole thing so you can hear what I have to say and have a chat. Now, the next ingredient, spring onions. If you don't have spring onions, use red onion. I just like spring onions. What you're going to do is you're going to take the top shitty bits off. You don't want to keep those, they're full of dirt. You don't need to have them. It's totally fine without them. And also the roots. Notice how I've left this much. This is perfectly fine to eat. All you need to do is rinse it. I've already rinsed them previously before, but the very top bits, they're just bitter. They're not very nice. Now, take off the roots. Literally that much. People get really confused of what parts they think they can eat of a spring onion or a shallot, whatever you want to call it. Now, make sure your veg is all out of the way. Again, depending on your knife skills, you can cut a couple at once, but I find it easier if you sort of peel the outside. This is where usually the dirt can get stuck, and this part is generally pretty bitter and not nice. So just take those off. Now I'm going to slice these into 1 centimeter pieces as well. The reason I'm doing that is, again, I don't want to saute them too much. I don't want them to just become nothing. Keeping them in 1 centimeter dice is going to allow for a bit of texture to stay. now you can see all our veg is just chopped here, ready to go. What we're going to do is check the rice. The rice won't be ready yet, but we want to give it a stir, make sure it's not stuck to the bottom of the pan, and then we can get back to making the sauce. So just give it a check. So rice is all good. We're going to make the sauce now. Now in the method I've given you the amounts. If you want this recipe or this dressing for the sauce, if you want to triple the recipe, even times the recipe by 6, it lasts for ages. You're just going to need to put it into a jar and store it in the fridge and take tablespoons of it at a time. Always use a fresh tablespoon when you are taking it out. But you can make up sort of like bulk of this and it's sweet to go. So what we're going to do for this is grab yourself a bowl. We need garlic and ginger, and then fresh lime, and we're going to also be cutting up some coriander. First step is the garlic. Now, actually, maybe I can push this to the side so you guys can see this a bit better. What we're going to do with the garlic is we're going to place the garlic on the board. Using the back of your hand, hold it onto the knife and press the garlic down. This is going to crush it and it's going to allow you to just pull the garlic straight out. Now my next really handy tip for garlic is, this is to make it like minced and really nice, is we're going to add some salt on top of the garlic. So I'm going to grab that. This is not in my recipe, it's just a really handy trick. I'm just going to tip some salt onto it. The salt is going to add a coarseness and it's going to help us drag the garlic against the board to allow the garlic to be minced. 2 fingers on the knife like this. You're still using a pinch grip and loosely holding it, you're going to begin to pull the garlic against the board. The garlic will begin to mince, making sure you always keep that blade away from you. Drag it back. You will see that it is going to be a complete paste now. I'll show you. That took, honestly, 2 seconds, and as you can see, it is a really nice minced garlic paste. You don't have to buy minced garlic. Now, the next step is the ginger. All you're going to do is cut off just like a knob of it, or cut a tiny bit off the knob of it. If you have a grater, go for it, grate it, super easy. If you're feeling quite handy with a knife, you're just going to dice it up into small pieces. Into a really, really fine dice. This is a really good way for you to practice your knife skills. Just keep running the knife over it. It's fine to do it where the salt and the garlic was. The salt again is going to help make it coarse. So, once it is all diced up, we're going straight into this bowl here. And then we are going to pick some coriander. So I've just washed the coriander. What I've done is I've stored it, honey. Sorry, that's just my dog. I can't really stop her from barking. What we're going to do is we're going to pick the coriander off into stems. Or pick the leaves off the stems, sorry. Once we have picked all the stems stems of the coriander. We're just going to roughly dice it into a fine. I'm going to roughly dice it, and then once it's roughly diced, we can begin to cut it a bit finer. So just like this, keep running your knife all the way through it. Now once you've got it into a rougher chop like this is where we begin to chop it finer. So still holding the knife in a pinch grip like this, add your 2 fingers to the top of it, and just begin to direct the knife back through the coriander. You're moving the handle of the knife and you're pressing down on the tip of the knife with your fingers to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. You're just going to continually run it through until it becomes fine. Now, keeping in mind again that you still have your rice on the stove. And now what we're going to do is you're going to add the coriander into this bowl. So, chuck that in. Clean up everything off your board. Now, while you are cleaning everything off your board, you're going to pop on your pan for the cooking of the veg. So all I'm doing is putting the pan on a low heat, and that will just slowly begin to heat while I finish this dressing. To finish the dressing, squeeze in half a lime. Make sure you get everything out of it. We're going to go in with 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, half a tablespoon of sesame oil. Take the sesame oil now over to the pan because you're going to add in 1 tablespoon of sesame oil to the pan with, into the pan. Now that is going to slowly heat before we add the rest of the veg. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Feel free to add light soy sauce if you want. I really love dark soy sauce. This is where I find you get most flavor. Lastly, this controversial for palm sugar. I really like palm sugar in my sort of Asian inspired dishes. If you don't feel comfortable with using palm sugar, brown sugar's fine, normal sugar's fine. It just adds a bit of sweetness, half a teaspoon. All you're gonna do is you're just gonna really just lightly chop it straight in with the dressing. So as you can see, we have a dressing here made. If you are tripling the recipe, what you're going to do now is put it into a jar, put it on the lid, chuck it in the fridge. You can use this for up to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, as long as you are using a fresh spoon all the time. But we are just going to use this for the whole recipe. Place this now over near the pan. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys over to the pan so you can see exactly what I'm cooking. And we're going to bring the chopping board. So as you can see what we've got going on, I'm going to bring the veg over now. And we're going to go straight into the pan. Now, your rice will be ready. So what we're going to do is we are going to strain the rice into a strainer. We don't need to cool the rice down completely because we're going to put the rice back in the pan anyway. So just lightly run it under some warm water, rinse off anything any of the stickiness. It stops the rice from completely holding together when you just give it a bit of a rinse. So, rice is just over there and run it under some warm water like I just said. And all we're going to do now, if I can bring it closer, is saute. Oh, you can see me in the mirror. Saute the veg. You can see it here. Now you can go in with a cracker pepper if you want. Don't add salt to it yet. Now, the reason we aren't adding salt to it is because of the soy sauce. The soy sauce is extremely salty. Just depending on what brand you buy, you just aren't going to know until the very end. So I suggest you just wait till seasoning it at the end. Most of the time with the brand of soy sauce I'm using, I don't need to add more. Pretty much. So the veg is going. Now the chicken mince, I have given you the raw weight for this recipe. However, I have cooked chicken mince. I often cook my food in bulk like this and I leave it in the fridge because I know that I'm going to be eating this within the next 2 days. I ate some of this for lunch and now I'm going to eat this for dinner as well. It's really awesome to have some cooked food ready to go to make your life easier, and this recipe is perfect for cooked chicken mince. So the veg is just sauteing as we speak. It takes about 4 minutes to bring on the flavour. The other thing that I've added to the recipe is chilli. Now, the chilli is completely up to you. If you like chilli, add a pinch. If you love chilli, add 3 pinches. All I'm going to do is just a pinch myself because I can't handle heaps of chilli, and then I'll taste it after and see if I need to add more. So I'm just going to grab that, and then we're going to add in the chicken mince as well. 150 grams of cooked chicken mince, meaning we need about 130 grams of cooked stuff if we're doing 150 raw. I'm personally not going to weigh it because I know what I need to eat today. So in with the chicken mince. And then I'm going to grab the chilli as I just mentioned. Okay, chilli's just over here, just missed that one. That was way more than a pinch. Now, all we're doing here is just re-warming the mince. Once the mince is hot, this is where we add the dressing. The dressing is going to deglaze the pan. Anything that is left on the bottom of the pan, the acidity in the dressing is going to bring it up. So you're going to add it and then you're going to scrape the spoon, spatula, whatever it is, around the bottom of the pan, picking up any of the extra beautiful flavors, and it's going to incorporate it back in. The juices are going to emulsify and the chicken mince is going to be covered, tasting fabulous, literally. So it doesn't take very long to heat this. In with our sauce. You're going to hear it steam and sizzle. And we're just going to incorporate it. Now, just don't forget, scrape it off the bottom. Now, to finish off this delicious, delicious dish, we're going to add 1 egg. So in the middle of the pan, create a well. This is where you're going to cook your egg. Crack that egg in there. Depending how hungry you are, 1 or 2. I'm going to add 2. Recipe says 1. The recipe is designed for 1 egg. However, I'm trying to keep my calories, so I'm going to add in some more. Let the egg cook now for about 2 minutes. It just needs to begin to form. Once it's begun to form, you're going to just break it up and stir it through like you would with any fried rice. And just break that egg up. Now we're nearly done. The rice is over here on the stove. In the sink. It's been straining. We're going to add the rice straight back on, and then we are pretty much done. Rice goes in. Rice is already warm. It won't take very long to reheat. And we're just going to slowly stir it back through. It smells divine. Like, it smells amazing. And all you're going to do is mix it back through. I know this seems like a really large serving. I kind of added some extra ingredients as I was going. The recipe is for 1 person. However, I've made this for about 2 people, and I'm going to eat it myself because I am starving. What we're going to do now is grab a bowl, and we're going to fill the bowl, and we're going to garnish it. I will show you. Pan goes off, and we are just going to fill our bowl. This is a really easy chicken fried rice. The kids will love it. You can put in loads of hidden extra vegetables. So I will show you now. What we're going to do is, I'm going to bring you back over here. We're just going for a walk in here. I wish I had like 7 cameras set up, and then I could show everyone it a lot easier. I had some extra shallots, so we're going to use those, and some coriander just for a garnish. Using your knife skills that I've taught you, with the leftover shallots, you're going to finely chop them. So this is your knife skills coming into play. What we're going to do here is cut it as fine as possible. Obviously, the sharper your knife is, the better. We're going to use those as a garnish. A little bit of extra sesame seeds as a garnish to top it off. If you have any spare coriander, I suggest you also just give that a bit of a slice. Fresh coriander is lovely on this. And then finish it off with a lime wedge. Who doesn't love an extra lime wedge on your food? And here we go. Really easy chicken fried rice. Recipe serves about 2 people. I'm gonna eat the whole thing because it's fucking delicious. And I'm going to show you how do I flip this around. There we go, super easy chicken fried rice. It seriously took me, this video has been going for half an hour. There we go. Yum, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this really easy dinner. I'm sure you have all the ingredients in your fridge. Just play around with the recipe. Use whatever veg you want. The sauce is essential. And that is all. Thanks, guys.